I would transform Mito into the center of Japan by attracting all the most intelligent, greatest people from all over the world into Mito, creating Super Google. Super Google centered in Mito. And a new computer company centered in Mito, and a fusion reactor company, so that there'll be free energy all over the world, centered in Mito.
Now the next concept is about time management. What is the priority? How should you use your time? So think about all the tasks, all the work you have to do. There's urgent tasks, which is something you have to do soon. You have to do immediately. And not urgent, which is you don't have to do soon. Tasks that are important and the tasks that are not important. So, obviously, you don't want to spend time here, right? I think everyone would agree. This box is not urgent and it's not important. So nobody wants to spend time here. I think everyone would agree we should spend time here because it's important and it's urgent. But the big question is, should we spend, after A, should we spend the most time in B or C? B or C. So this B is important, but it's not urgent. This box is urgent. You have to do it soon, but it's not important. So how many people think we should spend time in B?
But why urgent and not important? I don't understand.
For example, doing laundry. Yeah, it's urgent. You have to do it soon. You have to wash your clothes soon. But it's not that important for your mission. It's not that important. So, how many people think after A we should spend time in C? We should do things that are urgent. How many people think? How many people think we should spend time in B? So let's give an example. My goal is to be a professional piano player in 10 years. Okay? That's my mission. I want to be a piano player. I have kanji homework, and I have to give to the teacher tomorrow. So it's urgent. It's tomorrow. I have 5 hours. Should I do kanji homework first, or should I practice piano? Okay? So how many people think you should do kanji homework? So most of you think we should do kanji homework. How many people think you should practice piano? Okay? So very few of you. Very few of you.
You know, sometimes I have a tendency, I know that the urgent, I have to do it, but I don't like to do it.
Yeah, sure.
So it means that I put the things last minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the same example, you want to be a piano player. The goal is to be a piano player. The urgent task is to do math homework. The math homework is tomorrow. The important task is to practice piano because you want to be a piano player. The urgent task is to clean your apartment. The important task is to read books on Beethoven. Okay? The urgent task is to answer email. It's urgent. The important task is to make goals for this year. Okay? Do you see the difference between urgent and important? Successful people spend time on square A and B. In other words, they spend time on the important task. They spend less time on square C and D. So in other words, the successful person spends time here. The successful people, they spend time here and they spend less time here. So the successful person would not do the kanji homework, they would practice piano. So I was extremely gifted in school. I had wonderful grades, I had great test scores, I always did my homework, I had great grades. None of the things I studied is helpful for me today. None of it. I studied so much math, useless. I studied a lot of science. It doesn't help me at all. I studied a lot of things. None of it is helpful towards my mission. And so I'm 28 now. If I could go back to when I was 15, the number one advice I would tell myself when I was 15 is don't spend so much time doing homework and studying all those things. Spend time building your mission. That's what I would tell myself. So that's my biggest regret in life, that I spent so much time studying math, studying history. I studied so many things that are not so useful.
So you mean long term mission is very important.
Exactly. Yeah.
Long term.
Yeah. So this is the habit of successful people. This is the way most highly successful people think.
Remember,
Sorry.
I was just going to say, successful in making money, but
No,
not
no, no.
successful in knowledge.
Well, if your goal is to make knowledge, if your goal is to get a lot of knowledge, of course you should study.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to be the best basketball player in the world,
Right.
it depends what your goal is. If your goal is to be the best basketball player, studying kanji is not so helpful. So it really depends on your mission.
But you are still 28.
Yeah.
I'm very sure that what you learned, it will use, or how do you call that? It might help you.
It'll be a little bit useful, but what I'm saying is, no, you have to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't study at all. I'm saying where do you spend the most time? So when I was in high school, I spent 6 hours doing homework, and or something like that. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 hours every day doing homework and studying for school. And then I didn't spend a lot of time on what I really love, is investing. If I could go back, I would spend 4 hours studying investing and spend 2 hours doing homework. So I'm not saying don't do it all. I'm just saying, where do you prioritize? So it's better, successful people, they spend time on important things and less time on urgent things. Checking email, doing laundry, homework, things that are not so important. Successful people learn to say no to many things. They say no to many things. I'm not good at this. I say yes to everything. If people ask me, Michael, can you do this? I say yes to everything. Successful people learn to say no to things that are unrelated to their mission. Urgent things are things that have to be done soon. Homework, errands, company work, requests. Important things are things that improve yourself, that make yourself better. Invest in yourself related to your mission. Studying, practicing, planning, reading books. Okay. The next concept is called win-win. Now this is similar to the givers. Successful people try to find a solution for problems where everybody wins. Win-win. So I win and you win. Many people think for me to win, the other person must lose. Many people think that. So for many years, Apple, they thought for us to win, Microsoft has to lose. And eventually Apple lost. Okay? And then they changed their thinking. They said, we don't have to destroy Microsoft. Microsoft can be successful, and we can be successful. We can work together. And today, both companies are very successful. So successful people think we both can win. Successful people know how to compromise and to make other people happy, so both sides can win. They are givers, and they add value for others. You should never enter a relationship that is win-lose, because in the long term, it will become lose-lose. So if you think about your life right now, think about all the relations you have. Do you have a situation that is win-lose, where you are getting and the other side is losing? Or the other side is winning and you are losing? If you have a win-lose situation, you should either change the situation or get out of the situation. Because win-lose will become lose-lose. You want many win-win situations. Many managers have a win-lose situation. They are very controlling managers. They want to control their workers. So they are winning, but their workers are losing. And over the long time, those workers will quit. They will become tired and they won't work very well. So over the long term, it will become lose-lose. Examples. China investing in Africa. China invests a lot of money in Africa. Nobody wants to touch Africa. Nobody wants to invest in Africa. So only China does it. So China, they get something. They get resources. They get copper and steel. They get resources. And Africa gets the money they need to develop their country. Win-win. A win-lose situation or lose-lose situation is countries fighting over land. So for example, today, China is fighting with Philippines and China is fighting with Vietnam over islands, over land. That is win-lose. Eventually, it will become lose-lose if they have a war or something. So that's not a good situation. But recently, China sent a letter. They sent an offer to Philippines and Vietnam. They said, let's not fight over the island. Let's dig the oil, take the oil from the sea, and let's share it. You get some, and we get some. That's win-win. So that's a good solution. Okay? Taking a job you love is win-win. You get to do the job you love, you enjoy your job, and your company gets a great employee. That's win-win. Treating workers badly. For example, the ALT system in Japan. If you treat workers badly, in the short term, the company gets something. But in the long term, the workers quit, they don't enjoy their job, they're not very good workers. In the long term, it becomes lose-lose. You see? Win-win, giving an employee more responsibility. So I won't be a controlling boss, I will give you more responsibility. The employee is happy, the company is more productive, win-win. Being a controlling boss, the opposite. It will become lose-lose. Okay? So, do you have any examples of win-win situation or win-lose situation in your life?
With the controlling boss, if you have a company boss, right, or a president, or anyway, if they give the employee more responsibility, then the company will grow because the younger members can take over.
Exactly.
But when they die, if they control and then they just die, no one can take over the company.
Yeah.
No one's ready.
Exactly. So I read a story. A man was married to his wife, and they were getting divorced. And according to the law, he has to give half to his wife. So he had a very expensive car. A very expensive car. He sold his car for $50. Why did he do that? If he sold his car for $10,000, he has to give $5,000 to his wife. He has to give a lot of money to his wife. He doesn't want to give money to his wife. So he sold his car for very cheap. He sold his car for $50. So he gives $25 to his wife and he gets $25. That's lose-lose. Do you understand? So for example, right now, I'm giving a lot of, I have a lot of friends and I'm giving investing advice. I'm saying you should buy this company, you should buy this stock. It's win-win. My friends make money, it's good for them, and I love it. I'm having such a fun time. I enjoy it. It's win-win. I enjoy it, my friends make money, win-win. You see? Are there any situations in your life you want to share that's win-win or win-lose? So my point is, successful people have many win-win situations in their life.
I think, as you said, if anyone here is teaching someone something, the person you're teaching will grow, and that group will grow. Maybe it's a daughter-in-law teaching how to cook. In the future, she can take over and she can cook all the food because you taught her, you shared the knowledge instead of just controlling the kitchen. Right? It's a joke.
Yes.
Yesterday I met money.
Okay.
We have machines.
Yeah.
And my son said to me, "Okasan, you very happy."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Malik somewhat enjoy.
Yes, good, good. Yeah. So both of you enjoyed the time. So it's a win-win situation.
Before our group taught Japanese cooking to other country people.
Yeah.
So maybe students had a win. Then our group for me we can learn Japanese cooking. なんつうのかな、改めてってなんつうのかな。We can learn Japanese cooking. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because otherwise you
Yes,
don't
yes.
do that,
To
do you? But you've got to
to
show
teach
someone
is
else
to
how to
learn.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh, now I get
Yeah.
to teach is to learn.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, for example, every month I make these presentations. That's win-win because other people, they're learning something, and I am learning also. I understand the concept better when I make the presentation. So it's win-win. I'm becoming smarter and you're becoming smarter.
I hope.
Anything else you want to share? Okay, Charlie Munger said, the best thing a human can do is to help another human being know more. The best thing a human can do is to help another human know more. Okay. Seek to understand. This is Charlie Munger's quote. I'm not qualified to have an opinion unless I know the other side's argument better than them. Unless I know the other side's argument better than them, I'm not qualified to have an opinion. Okay. So this is my translation I wrote. So successful people, they listen more than they speak. They listen more than they speak. They try to understand other people's way of thinking. They surround themselves with smarter people. They are constantly reading and constantly learning. They read many books every month. And they do not develop a strong opinion until they have a deep understanding. And they can change their opinion. They can receive criticism. They can receive criticism. They can change their opinion. So successful people always seek to understand more than they seek to speak.
Famous quote, he who knows doesn't speak. He who speaks doesn't know.
Yes.
And so when we think about the trouble in the world, like ISIS or Christian, or everybody has a strong opinion about their religion. My religion is right, it's the only one that's right. They're not really, they're, again, strong opinion will fix your mind, but it makes a lot of trouble.
Think about some position you have a strong opinion against. So maybe you have a strong opinion against a company or against a political party, and ask yourself, do you understand the other side's opinion better than them? If you understand their opinion better than them, then you can be against them. Can you think of a situation in your life that you are trying hard to understand the other opinion?
Yeah, I think what he said, like religions, make them people's opinion very fixed.
Yeah.
They don't accept other people's religion. That make conflict bigger and bigger and bigger. Like what we are happening right now.
Yeah.
Between religion is not just opinion, so just go feeling sometimes. So that's why very difficult. Not opinion.
Actually, this is a big mistake, you see. Feeling is the same feeling for everyone. It's the same feeling from the heart. But the idea, after the feeling, we have an idea in words, and the priest says, oh, this is what you felt, and this must mean this. Oh, that must mean this. You know, that's thinking. That happens after the feeling. Do you understand that we're essentially being? Essentially, the human being is a being. Being means sonza. But the opinion, the idea, is on top of that. It's about the being. The ego, the false ego, has an idea about who you really are, which is pure potential and
難しい。
難しい。
でもその今の IS とかそういうね、なんでって。As for human, it's I think same idea. I think we have we love the family or something. But why? How you fight each other?
So for example, right now in Japan, there's a strong debate about should Japan start nuclear reactors. Okay? Now, if you are against nuclear reactor, if you are against it, you should say, why do they want to start nuclear reactor? I should understand all the reasons they want to start nuclear reactor. And then I can have my own opinion. So successful people try to understand everything first. Successful people read many books. I mean, I read so many books every month. I probably read 5 or 10 books every month. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, they read so many books every month. Always reading. They're always learning. Charlie Munger, another quote, he says, go to bed smarter than when you woke up. Every day when you go to sleep, what did you learn? Are you smarter? Every day you should become a little bit smarter. So when you sleep, you should be smarter than when you woke up that day.
Is it possible for us?
Of course. Synergy. Successful people understand synergy. Successful people think that 1 + 1 = 3. So synergy. They believe in cooperation and working with people. Successful people, they recognize their own weaknesses. They recognize their weakness and they let other people help them. So successful people are very humble. They're very humble. They know what they can't do, so they let other people do it. They value the differences in other people. They see people different from themselves. So some managers, they only want to hire managers that say yes to everything, where everything is the same. Successful people know that I can't do everything. So, I'm good at management, but I'm not good at accounting. So I need someone strong at accounting to help me. Okay?
I think Japan is successful because of also the humble. The idea of being humble means that, as we were talking about opinions, if your opinions are lower, then you listen to others more, and then you work together as a team. And Japan together works as a team, much more than any other country. Cooperation, working together, that's a strong point.
Any questions about this? Okay, and here's the last point, the final concept. Mental and spiritual health. Now, many people neglect this. This is very important. Successful people invest time and money into their mental and their spiritual health. So sports, exercise, religion, music, literature, they can refresh our body and our mind. And they can strengthen our values. So people who love sports, they can develop a very strong willpower and courage. So they look at an athlete and say, oh, he's so strong, he works so hard, he's so brave. I want to take his values and apply it in business or in art or in entertainment. So they learn values. Okay? Religion can teach people to be kinder to other people. So it helps them to become a better giver. Studying literature can help us learn from great people. So we learn the biographies of great people. We learn the stories and the success of great people. And people who do sports, people who exercise, generally are happier. They're happier, so they're healthier. So successful people, they spend time here as well. So in summary, I said a lot today, but I think the main points, the biggest points, are one, be a giver. Give to people. Give to society. That will help you be successful. Have a long-term vision. Think long-term. Have a strong mission. Have a goal. Have heroes. And 3, remember your mission. Okay. So that's all for my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer your questions.
I heard somebody famous saying that so success people never give up. So I think the number 3.
Yeah. Remember your mission.
Like a famous saying.
Yes, never give up.
Yeah, Winston Churchill said
Never
never give up.
India.
Very easy to give up.
What's your goal?
My goal?
Yeah.
Well, I told you my mission, right? So, my goal is pretty simple. Specifically. I guess my goal is, there's 2 parts. Like, one, my goal is I want to help people. So I want to help a lot of people. I want to help people be successful. If people have trouble, I want to help them. So I want to make a lot of deep friendships. So friendships are important to me. That's one of my goals. More on the business side, my goal is I want to start my own investment company, and I want to invest money for many Japanese people, and I want to increase their money because many Japanese people don't know about investing. They don't understand investing. Many Japanese people fear investing. They're afraid of investing. And many Japanese people, they invest their money in places that I think are extremely dangerous. So many Japanese people have their money invested in these toshi shintaku, these Japanese mutual funds. They don't even know what's in the funds, and they're very dangerous. So I want to help Japanese people to invest their money better, and I want to increase their money. And my goal is, by the time I die, to have zero money. I want to give away all my money by the time I die. So I want to have enough to live on, and when I die, I want to have zero. So that's what Buffett did. I didn't make that goal myself. I copied it from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the second richest man in the world, and his goal is by the time he dies to have zero money, to give away everything by the time he dies.
And Facebook also, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg did the same thing. He promised to give away all his money. Bill Gates, he promised to give away all his money. And they're not just giving away the money, they're giving away the money for important causes. You know, in India, malaria was a very serious disease. Bill Gates, by himself, has almost completely cleaned malaria. Malaria has gone from like 30% to almost zero, just from Bill Gates' effort. There's another one of my favorite investors. His name is Monish Pabrai. He's a very famous investor in America. His goal is to give away all his money by the time he dies, when he's 80. So every year he gives away 5% of his money. And he's very rich. And he started a foundation where he finds poor children in India, children who have no chance to go to university because they're too poor. And he picks the children. And of the people he chooses, 44% of them enter into the top university of India. The top university of India is IIT, India Institute of Technology. And the normal pass rate is 2%. So 100 Indian people apply to IIT, only 2 people are accepted. But his organization, 44% are accepted. So he has an amazing organization. He goes to the small villages of India. He finds the most intelligent children, but the poorest children. Children who, their parents are farmers, they have no chance to go to school. And he gives them an education, and he allows them to go to the top university of India. And he's an inspiration to those children. And those children, when they grow up, they think, I want to be like Monish Pabrai, I want to help people. So it contributes a lot to the world. So that's my goal, to be like my heroes. I want to help people, I want to make a lot of money, and I want to give a lot of money.
How do you call her? The person you explained, the name of the person?
That's Monish Pabrai. Monish Pabrai. Any other comments or questions?
I think it's interesting about heroes. Who are the heroes? My heroes are not rich because they're like Lao Tzu, Roshi, Koshi, Moshi, you know, high level kind of thinkers like Shakespeare, Leonardo da Vinci, Platon, that kind of idea.
I think that's fine. I mean, those people, it's not their success that matters, it's their values. Their values is what matters. So Monish Pabrai, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they have great values. I don't love them because they're rich. I love them because they have great values. And I want to be like them. Any last comments or questions?
Yes.
I have heard about like who is successful. In that book, the hero is not to think negative.だからMichael says like similar idea. I think.
Yeah, to think positive, to think actively.
Yes, positive.
Yeah, that's very important.
And to have hopeful.
Yeah.
To be hopeful.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Michael says.
Yeah.
Hopeful is very important, but also hopeful means thinking, right? The thinking is actually, I don't know how to explain, but thinking, thought on a quantum, do you know quantum level, quantum mechanics? Yes. So on that level, everything is controlled. Thought will actually help to control the future. So whatever happens is a combination of our thinking and our feeling. So if our feeling, emotion is also energy, and thought is also energy, and we can actually focus that energy on a goal or something, and it will happen like magic. So I believe that. I believe that that's the way the universe works. So there's no miracle. It's just some great people can actually control and see the connection between everything. Everything's connected, but we can't see it because our mind is separate. That's it. But if you're at a very, very high level of unity, you see the connection. Yeah. I believe that.
So in case of the positive thinking, the words are very important. As you said, you read many books and heroes' words you repeat.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very important, I think, because words encourage people. Yeah, so for positive thinking. Yeah. So.
That's right.
So
Words.
when we can't think, so but words repeat, so change our mind
Exactly.
to positive. Yeah.
Words are vibration.
Yeah,
Same
and you
as
can
it.
hear
Yeah.
and memorize. So
in English we say spelling, and spell also means magical incantation. It has two meanings, right? A magic spell.
Very beautiful.
Because when you speak your words, it's like a spell.
Yeah.
It will have an effect.
And take energy.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing about heroes is your children. I mean, some of you have young children. Your children will become like you.
Yeah.
So it's important to, one, be a good hero for your children, to have the right values. Your children will learn your values. It's also important to marry a person with good values, because your children will become like your husband or your wife. So whoever you marry, your children is going to look like them. And as important it is to have good heroes, it's also important to stay away from the bad heroes. I mean, you think about in our society, all the idols. The heroes of most high school students today is Justin Bieber, AKB48. Over time, they will become more like them. The more music of AKB48 I listen to, the more I will become like AKB48. But the more I listen to Bill Gates, the more I will become like Bill Gates. So you will become who you listen to.
In Japanese, 感化されるとか。
And your children will become like you.
Yeah.
So it's very important to be a good hero for your children.
Like my mother is a giver.
Good.
And then after the war, we didn't have much food to eat. But it doesn't mean that she is rich. Always share the food to the neighbors. And I learned naturally from her. Doesn't mean I want to help return from anything. Genuine, what do you say?
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
So what I want to say that that's important. Children can learn without not knowing what you are doing naturally. So when I go back to my hometown, people know my mother already died, but they neighbors give me things they have for I don't know, vegetable, bring to this and so on and so on. Yeah, then I think those things are coming back in the long run.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I really enjoyed making this presentation. I learned a lot making this presentation, and I really enjoyed teaching it to you, and I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Just on time.
Cash it to buy.
Hi, hi.
I have one.